All right. I think we should be live. Let me confirm because there's a slight delay. Um, we're going to have an interesting panel today. I got OG Mike coming up. Be about 5 minutes or so. I know I started a little bit early, but I wanted to get everything set up, uh, you know, before everything went on here. But we're going to have an interesting topic, and you are definitely going to want to um, stick around for this because it's some interesting information. I got to do something else here. Let's do just in case. Oh, that's what does it. That's the thing that messes up my settings on my mic. So I'm going to leave that off for now. If it becomes an issue, I'll change it later. Joko, welcome. McDonald, welcome. Shizzle, King Bluto. Nice to have you here. We'll wait a few minutes. We're waiting our guest. What's up, NH? Nice to have you here. We're going to have a really great panel today. Well, just me and Mike, but OG Mike is a great dude. Rich, Motorshaw, evening. Razor, nice to have you here. Nice to have everybody here. If I miss anybody, I do apologize. But like I said, we're going to have a great panel. The topic is something that is it's a hot topic for sure. Conspiracy, nice to have you here as well. UK in the house, exactly. Rich, what is it about 7, 8 o'clock at night in the UK right now, where you are? Probably something like that. I think it's about a 7 hour difference, if I'm not mistaken, 7, 8 hour difference. But so the topic today is going to be: is the police an actual gang? I know a lot of people throw that around. Um, Good to see you too, Northwoods. Nice to have you in here. Um, 6:57. I wasn't too far off, Rich. Wasn't too far off at all. This is a hot topic, especially here in the U.S. It's getting more so in the UK too, Rich. But here in the U.S., it's thrown around a lot, and I want to discuss it. And I have somebody that um, you know will be able to speak on this topic actually really well. Um, just looking at my stuff here. Okay. What's up, Jesse Paris? Nice to have you in here as well. The topic today is going to be: are the police an actual gang? I know, I've said it a lot. Yes, please hit that like button, everybody. I've said it a lot, and a lot of people say it, but we're going to get down to the nuts and bolts of it today. Um, you know. But like I said, we're gonna wait for our guest to jump on in here. I'm just getting you guys prepped for what is going on here. So that's the topic today. I'm glad that you all are in here. Mick T, welcome. Nice to have you here, mate. Notice how I used one of their colloquialisms, mate. I love it. Um, so it's going to be really interesting because there are different schools of thoughts, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I don't want to get too far into it because, like I said, my guest, OG Mike, Big Mike, as they call him, is going to be here to discuss this with us. Uh, you know, oi, oi. um, Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I can tell already. We've already got already 12 people. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It does get more people in here. Razor says I was interviewed the other day by Amarillo News 10. Was asked about cops and Thin Blue Line, and oh look, here's our guest, Mike. If you can hear me, you got to. Uh, I I see you there, but I can't add you yet. Um, uh, hold on. Okay, there he goes. He's trying again. Bernie, what's up? Nice to have you in chat. Uh, you like my use of the? Did I use it correctly, Mick T? Mate. I kind of like that. It's like friend. Pal, whatever. Stuff like that. Um, let's see if he can. Yeah, I can just text him. He can just call me. It was working earlier. Uh, hey, Mike.
It wasn't on me. I don't know what was going on. It wouldn't come off from you.
That's okay. We can do it over the phone. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm live already, Mike.
Oh, okay, okay.
um,
I apologize, everybody.
don't apologize, man. It's all good. We'll figure that out later. But this is the backup plan. I'm holding up my phone next to the mic, Mike.
Okay.
On the phone, we got Big Mike, OG Big Mike. Now, Big Mike. Uh, when I use the word OG, it doesn't really mean anything other than old school, whatever. But for you, it's got a different meaning. It actually, in all actuality, it's true. Original gangsta Mike. I'm not going to get too much into that, Mike, but I appreciate you being here. Sorry for the technical, whatever is going on, but I'm happy to have you here, Mike. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Don't work.
Yeah, I know. Mike is working while we're talking here, so we're gonna. His time is very limited, but Mike, I wanted to get you on here to talk about a subject that we kind of throw around quite a bit, and we don't really discuss why we think what we think. And I thought, what better person to have on the line than you to discuss this, and that is, are the cops an actual gang? And I'll throw that question to you. And if anybody in the audience has any questions, we will get those in too. But my first question to you, Mike, do you think that the police are an actual gang?
Yeah, what else would you call them? Anybody that'll stand by and let somebody choke, beat, kill, shoot, whatever the fact may be. Anybody to stand by and let another person do that because you have on the same uniform, that's a gang.
Yeah,
They're gonna take up for each other. I mean, why would you go against that if you're a police officer
yeah,
and you up there with and the reason they 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 can't get away with a lot now is because of cameras.
yeah,
And in some issues, the cameras don't make a difference either. So it's fighting. You got to fight hard for your rights. And another thing that I noticed, you have to know your rights.
yeah, yeah. King Bluto says that's what goes with these lies. Sometimes technical difficulties. No, actually, we did have some I actually had a different technical difficulty. My original headset
Yeah.
it got broken just now as I was moving it around. So,
Hold on, hold on, hold on. What lies are we talking about?
oh no, just the technical difficulties. He's just making fun. Um, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
No worries. No, Jesse Paris says yes. The police are the biggest gang in the United States and world. Big Mike. I don't think there's much disagreement there amongst us, Jesse. Brandon Mitchell, nice to have you in here. Special guest today is Big Mike. Big Mike's in the house. We're talking about whether or not the police are an actual gang. And McDonald makes a good point here, Big Mike. He says because gangs work together. That's a big part of it, right? It's almost conspiratorial in a way, Big Mike. Like when people work together to achieve whatever it is, whether it's money, drugs, um, you know, covering up bullshit. I mean, it is the telltale sign of a gang, is it not?
Oh yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, look at what they're doing. I mean, think about it. Every single day that you wake up in each state, police done something crazy, and it's
Yeah,
like if you give the average gang member that runs the streets, if you give them a gun and badge, what they gonna do?
yeah, yeah. That's exactly right.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing that the police is doing. They're gonna take advantage of it.
Well, here's something we can talk about. Tapatio says cops are cartels.
Oh
They
yeah, oh yeah, because they can get away with more than a regular street gang can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the street gang is relegated to the rules of the street, right, Big Mike? Like
Right, right.
you don't have the protection of the law when you're a blood or a crip or an
So
Aztec
let me,
or whatever.
it's a law saying you can protect yourself, right? That's
Right.
if the police come at you a certain way.
Yeah.
Put your hands on them and see how much the law protects you.
Right.
See,
Well,
they can beat, choke, shoot. You can't do nothing. You got to stand there and pretty much take it. Because the minute you fight back, what do they do?
yeah. Well, a good example of that, Mike, there was a video that I have out there with Officer Ramos, who, hours after that video was taken, shot into a crowd of people in downtown Denver. But in that video, Mike, you will notice like the guy was pushing us from behind, right? He pushed K Dot, he pushed myself. It was not Ramos, it was another cop, but he put his hands on us, and I started getting sick of him pushing me from behind, and I turned around and I batted his arm out, and he immediately his first thing was, "You want to get charged with assaulting a police officer?" And I think I said something to the effect of, you mean protecting myself just for that reason? I didn't
So,
want.
so let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
What gang member on the streets that you know wouldn't love that kind of protection?
right. That's exactly right. Noel says police in their present form are the standing army the founders loathed. Yeah, I think I would agree with that, Noel. I do think they're a gang. I think they're a gang that's protected by the law, and it's really egregious. Brandon Mitchell says they're definitely a gang, and attorney DAs and judges all play butt buddy. Yeah,
So,
they do.
don't get me wrong here, y'all. I have ran into some excellent officers. I didn't had officers let me go for something I knew I should have went to jail for, but they had an option to do that or take me to jail. They let me go. So there are good officers, but the ones out there, just like it's good gang members, you just ain't met none, but it's good gang members. But just like I'm saying, those officers, you can't, if you get out, most officers, you get them out of, either they coming out of high school or college at an early age. If you get the average bully, if you get the average nerd, and you get the average wannabe Klansman, if you give all of them a badge, what are you gonna have what are you gonna have? You're gonna have one that never got to fight and take up for itself. You're gonna have a bully that's 10 times worse, and the one that want to be a Klansman, them pretty much be the killers.
Yeah.
So you got three of those, and then you have your brothers in there that want to be that want to kiss butt and don't understand. Hey man, just take up for yourself. But they scared to lose their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. See, like if you were to act this way in any other profession, Mike, you would be
Right.
fired or be put in jail.
Or death row.
Yeah, or put in jail. That's right. That's right. And they get away with it time and time again. Look at what just happened in the Elijah McClain case, which I hate to say Elijah McClain case because Elijah McClain is the victim, not the perpetrator. The cops were the perpetrators, but um, they were the one cop was given I think he was given like a year, but it was work release, so he only spends nights there and he doesn't have to spend weekends in jail. So they extend courtesies um, to cops that no other no other person in the nation would be extended those courtesies unless you have a shit ton of money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, Mike? Like, unless
Right.
you're
But
rich. Yeah.
this is how. This is how the police know they can get away with anything, practically anything.
Yeah.
Can we take the flag and do anything to it? They
I,
can.
yeah.
They can. They can put that blue line on it. We can't.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Susie tried welcome. I saw Jen in there. Jen, nice to have you. Tapatio says the cop cartels are the ones that grow and put drugs on the streets. Those are facts. That goes all the way back to the drug war, Tapa, and that started in the Nixon administration, if you can believe it. So, yes. There's good officers at work if you're a good. Now, when you say good officers, Mike, were they good officers or were they just too lazy to do the paperwork to run you in?
It could be both.
Right,
It could be both.
right.
But at the time, I needed that.
Yeah. You needed to catch a break for sure.
Yeah, man. Because think about it. We're working. Most of us is working people.
Yeah, yeah,
And why do the police ride so hard through a working class neighborhood
yeah,
and just waiting to pull you over for any little thing, and half of the shit they make up.
yeah, yeah.
And how hard is it for us to fight? How hard is it for us to fight police officers if we can't afford real lawyers,
See,
not
that's a,
public, not public pretenders, real lawyers? We can't afford that. So yes, they're gonna take advantage of that. And most public pretenders work for them anyway.
well. That's a good point, Mike. That's another reason why I think they're a gang, right? Gangs you
Yes.
gangs usually have the protection of like an outer ring of like bigger players, right? And they also have money, right? So you're right. Like if and how much these officers gets paid, why they get paid their salaries is beyond me, Mike. I exposed an officer. He's a sergeant in Aurora, but he sits at a desk and he makes $141,000 a year base pay. This has nothing to do with overtime and other ways of like security detail, and these people make a lot of money, like a ton of money, and that's what it's all about. If you have a ton of money to deal with, then you're almost unstoppable. Plus, they have the backing.
Almost. What you mean almost? Has it? Hold on. What you mean almost unstoppable? Has it stopped?
Yeah, that's true.
Has
But
it stopped?
right, no, it hasn't. But here's the other thing: they also have the backing of the union, right? So the union backs them at every turn. Even during that Elijah McClain trial, I was sitting in the first trial and the third trial, Mike. But the union chief was there for that. Now that says a lot right there, right? Like they have a lot of interest in keeping every single decision in the cops' favor. So, yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's a government gang, Noel says. And then Tapatio says it's the CIA and DIA are involved in that too. Yeah, because what do you think they do with those drugs? Do you think they burn all those drugs? I mean that they might do some of that on camera. Like,
I hope everybody. See, I don't even have to answer that question. I hope everybody on the. I hope everybody that's watching you. I hope they understand what you just said because they understand where them drugs is going.
yeah, yeah.
And you know they ain't burning all of it. They ain't burning the money, and they sure ain't burning the drugs because we ain't running out of drugs. That's for sure.
We're not running out of drugs, and we certainly ain't running out of money.
No,
Mike.
they're not running out of money because they constantly stealing it from us.
Right, no doubt.
Any,
That's
any means necessary.
Okay, that's a good point. I was gonna bring that up because I did a video, Mike, on photo radar. Right? They don't even have cops sitting at photo radar. Like speed traps no more, hardly ever. They have normal citizens that they pay probably
So,
$16 an hour to sit
so
in a van. Yep.
I'm gonna make you laugh.
Yeah.
When we say lazy, I mean lazy. Why would they make their job hard by sitting there watching for speeders?
Right.
Why would
Right.
they make it hard when they have a machine to do it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
How
right.
many how many overweight police officers are y'all starting to see?
Right. Well, here's a good point. Matthew the King says, cops, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Also, cops, I didn't know the law. I claim qualified immunity. Luckily, Matthew, here in Colorado, that changed a little bit. There's no qualified immunity anymore, but it hasn't meant much, to be honest with you, so far. Until somebody starts suing them personally for the wrongs that they get, it's not going to change. But we are starting to see a tiny bit of change with the things that KDOT is doing, the things that I'm doing. Everybody having a camera. Mike, you mentioned the cameras. How big of an impact is that having on keeping people straight?
A whole lot. I mean, a lot. Other than the police, because they still can get away with stuff, and that's exactly what you seen. But I don't know where they mix like a DJ. They let you see one, they let you hear one thing or see one thing, and it end up being something else, and you seeing it, but it's something else. I'm like, wow, how did they do that? They should be magicians because they sure know how to do a bunch of magic when it comes to videos.
Well, their own videos, especially, I proved that
Right.
too. There
And
was,
and where, how can it not be against the law to turn your sound off? See that's crazy to me, and you
yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah. I've been a big advocate. What do you think about this, Mike? I've been a big advocate from the time that a police officer is on duty to the time he is off duty that he has to have that camera and audio on. The only exceptions being your lunch and a pee break. And that's it. I don't think, and also I think the public should have access to any officer. So if the public wants to check in
No, well, we do, but people that don't know the law, they don't know this, and that's why it's certain people, people out there, anybody that knows the law real good, take a couple of friends and teach them the law.
yeah,
Just take a couple of friends and teach them the law. I mean, it ain't gonna hurt because what I've noticed from watching all the different channels is when you get to asking the officers what the law is, and once and they get to shying away, walking off. I ain't gotta talk to you and all that. That's when you get to asking them the law that they don't know. If you want to get them away from you, just start asking them the law. That's what I've seen over and over. Every time you ask them the law, they get to shying away, or they want to talk. They don't want to talk about it, or they're gonna arrest you. But the people that know the law, okay, what are you arresting me for? And they can't answer it. So that's when they get to walking off, shying away, or getting mad.
right, right. So what do you think about cop watchers, Mike? Like that's a big topic too. Like a lot of places are, banning you from video recording inside police lobbies, and they don't like when you record them out in the public. What do you think of cop watchers in itself?
Okay, it's cop watchers that I have seen, knowing from everything I done seen y'all doing, and a lot of people that really that abide by the law. And then you have cop watchers that they're truly out there making problems for y'all. I done seen that too.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So it's truly a difference between different type of cop watchers. Some of them just go out there just to get trouble started, and I done seen that. And others out there trying to actually help people.
yeah. Well, I've chronicled that on my channel as well, Mike. Like I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to get into this drama back and forth bullshit thing that I most certainly could win. But at the expense of what? A bunch of trolls trolling me and telling me that my channel's not growing because I have to follow someone else's lead. That just I don't follow anybody's lead. I follow my lead. And that's what a leader does. A leader leads. A leader doesn't follow anybody else. So,
Well, this is me, and you personally know me. As a man, I wake up as a man. I go to sleep as a man. So as a man's supposed to know what to do in all situations because you are a man or a woman. When you're dealing with those type of people, you're dealing with the truth.
right, right.
A bunch of us, we like I said, if you don't trust them, why bother with them?
Right, right. King Bluto says they need to design a body camera that turns on when it comes out of the charge cradle and does not turn off or mute and does not turn off the back of the charge cradle.
Excellent.
The only problem with that, King Bluto, is there is privacy concerns. I don't want to see a fat officer's junk in the middle of me watching one of those channels. But I do believe that we should be able to like if I want to see what Officer Jones is doing in Denver, then I should be able to just click a button on my computer and it takes me straight to his body cam, and
That
there
I love.
and then you can watch from there. Tapatio says leader is being your own self. I totally agree, Tapa. When you're what do you think about this, Mike? I often ask people about because some of the bigger cop watchers out there and quote unquote auditors, right? They
Mm-hmm.
they like to edit their videos. How do you feel about editing videos, Mike? Do you like it when people edit their videos to make themselves look better or someone else look worse, or do you prefer the raw footage?
I like raw footage, but sometimes I mean some people feel like they have to edit it. I can't really speak on that because I'm not a cop watcher, But I mean, some things you don't want in there. That I understand, but I like it raw.
Yeah.
I like it raw. I,
I think I'm gonna clip that soundbite out, Mike. I like it raw.
seriously,
I
yeah,
do.
well,
I like raw footage for sure, Mike. I think you're being honest with everybody if you can show everything that happened on there. In the
yeah, that's
interest,
all. But like I said, there's people out there just don't want certain things heard or seen. I can't speak on them. But all I can say is I like it raw. I like to see everything, like
right? Because
word for word.
because context matters, Mike. I mean that there have been several videos. Look, let me use an example. K dot is 3-0 in court cases, right? He hasn't
Mm-hmm.
lost a court case. There are others out there that have lost every court case. What is the difference between somebody like that and somebody like me, and K dot? Like we give the people
Somebody,
everything, everything.
somebody that thinks they know the law, and somebody that truly knows the law.
Right. I would put K Dot's knowledge up against anybody's,
Yeah,
Mike.
me
I've said
too.
it several times.
Me
Like,
too. But like I told K Dot, he should be trying to teach classes, and anybody out there that truly knows the law, teach your family members, teach your brothers. I mean, just anybody that teach them the law. Because you see it work. It really works when you know what you're doing. Even if they arrest you and take you to court, it works pretty much.
yeah,
It works.
yeah. Matthew says, I heard a DA taking a fat dump on the microphone the other day.
Oh man,
Video.
I've seen that one too. That was fun. That was funny. That was. At first, I thought it was a joke. It really wasn't a joke. You hear them sound. You hear them kind of sounds in
you know,
comedy. It wasn't. It wasn't fake. Oh,
that's funny, man.
I happened
Um,
to see that one. Oh my gosh,
I,
that was funny.
King Bluto says your channel, you do it the way that you want to. I agree, King Bluto, but what I don't like is I like full context, right? If I need to see the full video because then I can make a decision whether or not you were a jackass or you did things the right way. You can edit if you're showing a preview like a movie trailer. McDonald, yeah, that's that aside. McDonald's. There are times when I have edited down one of my videos like a live that's like an hour and a half or 2 hours long, just to show an interaction. You know, stuff like that. Like I don't have a problem with that as long as you have full context to back it up. That's the point I'm making. So let's get back on topic here, Mike. What are the similarities that you see cops doing that gangs do? We've already mentioned a few, but are there any other things that police do that are very, very strikingly similar or the same as a gang?
From from what I gather, just everything I truly see on TV. I don't get to hang out with each one of them separately. I just what I see on TV. That's a gang member, but it's a different type of gang member. I mean, you give the average gang, like I said, you give the average gang member a gun and a badge. Oh my God. See, but with the police, it's certain rules, but they break them every day. It seems like every day, all day, and they don't want to learn the law. Cause I mean, I just seen it. I'm like, damn, every day in every state they doing the same thing. It's like, why give a fuck? We get to do what we want to do, and if we get caught, well, we'll see where it go from here. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
But I don't see nothing different. I don't see anything. They wear their flags like the gang members do. When the one I'm choking or beating, all of them gang up on them, kick them, beat them. I mean, and you've seen it, but well, he was the average person. If you're choking them, if you're putting a knee in a bad, most of us got bad backs on this phone. If you put your knee on my back, I'm fixing to squirm, move, and everything else.
Well,
If you
that's the
put my arm,
yeah.
if you put my arm up too high, I gotta move. You're hurting me.
Yeah, that's a tactic that they commonly do that
Right.
I've railed against, Mike. I agree with you. I have a bad back. If somebody were to put their knee in my back, it would I mean, I would jump. I would move, and they use that as, oh, he's trying to reach for my gun. He's trying to I mean, they did that with the 140-pound Elijah McClain, Mike. He was reaching for my gun. I heard that in
That
court.
was no excuse. That was no excuse, man. That you can see that boy was trying to go home in the cold, freezing, with a plastic holding a plastic bag. Most people put their hands in their pockets, even if they got gloves on. So he carrying a plastic bag in the cold, trying to hurry up, get home, and you do all of this to that man. To me, when people do certain, like it'll get handled. It'll get handled. Everybody ain't religious, but you know what I mean when I say it'll get handled. God looks down on everything.
Yeah, yeah. There's no incentive for cops to learn and respect the Constitution and law, Noel says.
But not if you don't put your if the government don't put their foot down, why would they stop?
Yeah,
How do you stop a bully? How do you stop a bully?
yeah. Um, I agree. Let's see. Matthew says cops lie daily, plain and simple, and I agree with that, Matthew, because there's been a Supreme Court case or two. One of them was Gonzalez, Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, where the Supreme Court, I think unanimously, if I'm not mistaken, said that yeah, in the course of their duty, of course, cops can lie. Now that I
Yeah,
think that was the exact
and that,
wrong decision because that gave all cops carte blanche to just lie to people's faces, and that shouldn't be the way that they handle things. But that's if
they need to they need to put a new movie out, Lion Kings.
yeah, Lion Kings, exactly. Jesse says they have meetings like gangs have meetings. That's another similarity. They do have meetings. They've you know what? Let me tell you guys something. I know I've mentioned this before. They've had specific meetings about me and KDOT, right? KDOT and I, about how to handle us. Now, if that doesn't tell you that they're a gang, I don't know what does. They are, you know, it's constant fear, right? Like
I can tell you what.
Yep. Go ahead, Mike.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. What's in the gang meeting?
Go ahead.
When it comes to y'all, they tell them just walk away.
Yep.
Walk
Just
away because you're not gonna win.
right. Right. Yeah, just walk away. Well, it's similar to that. They look at us as antagonists, Mike, and that nothing could be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, we're peace bringers. We want to make sure everybody goes home in one piece. You know what I mean? Like we don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody to have those issues and all that. Later, Tapatios, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Like they did Tyree Nichols and George Floyd, Jesse says. Yeah, that see, now that's the thing. They have specific meetings about specific people. No doubt. They did that to Elijah McClain too, Jesse said. Um, I can't prove before the fact, but after, obviously, Jesse. They get their heads together and then they decide on what
But
they want to do. You know. Go ahead, Mike.
but if you think about it, they have to them, they got the best job in the world. They can choke you, beat you up, get suspended for a week, maybe 2 days, take a couple of days payoff for choking, damn near choking you out of your life, and they get suspended. Just think about, why would you quit a job like that, and why would you abide by the rules if you knew you could get away with practically whatever you wanted to do?
Well, I proved that too. If anybody's seen the rabbit hole videos, this cop clearly threw a piece of paper outside of his vehicle, which is littering, which someone else would get a ticket and a fine for, right? And, I brought it to their attention and it went exactly nowhere. We did the investigation on ourselves and we found that we did nothing wrong. That's basically what happened. McDonald says in 2014, the San Bernardino sheriff at gunpoint, 5 deputies asked me to walk backwards. Once I stopped, I got tackled on my spine, hit the asphalt. I couldn't breathe or move or scream. Stop resisting. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do, McDonald. Unless you have video proof of that, they're gonna go with that all day long. Stop resisting. Hell, you got your knee in the middle of my back, and I've got problems. King Bluto. Yeah,
Their biggest thing, they make sure they hear it on the camera.
yes. They want
They
you to
turn that off. They don't never turn that off.
no. They won't turn that off because that's their get out of jail free card. Stop resisting. When the average person hears that, they think of a person that's just being obstinate and wriggling around and trying to punch the officers and all this shit. And it's like it goes hand in hand. They can lie. They can get on the stand and say, "Yeah, he was resisting. He was doing this and that and the other." And unless you got a video proving otherwise, I mean, they're going to take the cop's word, which I never understood to begin with. Why are cops' word on the stand worth more than the average citizen's word? That
Well,
that yeah
look where you at.
yeah
You gang members headquarters, ain't you?
exactly, man, exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. Why would
Yeah,
another gang member in that gang go against each other?
right. It's that thin blue line. Never turn your back on a mate.
But even gang members now, you can do something so bad. Even our gang members back in the day, they'll turn their back on you. Like, hey, bro, you done went a little too. You done did a little too much now. They'll
Yep.
turn their back on you. But now you getting them in too much trouble. See, that they'll do one of their gang members like that.
Because there's such a thing as an honor. There's an honor code in a gang, Mike. Like a true street gang, you have honor, right?
Yeah.
You would turn your back on someone that killed a baby or did something so egregious that you know
That's what I can't get over. You'll shoot a kid as a grown man. You'll shoot a baby.
yeah
Like I seen something the other day, 11-year-old kid got shot in the middle of his chest because he came running out the house because I guess, I don't know, somebody was in there abusing somebody else. So the kid come running out the room and the police officer told him to come out. When the
yeah
boy came out, he shot him in the chest. I'm like, so it's a no-win situation
yeah
sometimes.
no
You
win.
just can't win,
Yeah,
whether you listen or not.
and
You
it's
just can't win.
and it's because of stuff like this. What Jesse Paris says in chat, Big Mike. The SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, also ruled that police have no obligation to serve and protect you. They have no obligation.
Right.
If they see you on the street and you're getting beat up by somebody, they can look the other way. They don't even have to intervene there. and that's ridiculous.
Right.
King Bluto says they are trained to lie. I don't know if they're specifically trained to lie, Bluto, but one thing that I do know, this is the mentality in the academy. It's us against them. That's what they're truly trained. That we are
No,
the enemy, and they
they
are.
train. Oh,
th-
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I was going to say they are the enemy, meaning the public is the enemy, and we are the enforcers. Right? That's what they are truly taught in the academy. You were going to say, Mike, before I cut you off. What were you going to say?
They teach each other how to lie.
Yeah,
They
that's
teach
right.
each other what to get away with. They teach each other what to look out for. If
Yeah.
you know the law, if you know the law, they're starting to stand back. You starting to see that. But some of them still pushes because if you truly don't know, they gonna get it out of you.
Yeah,
If you truly don't know.
Matthew said, I got slammed on my head on the concrete by Lompoc PD in October 2020 for no reason. I was taken to jail and released with no charges the next day. It's that type of bullshit that you should sue them for, Matthew. I mean, you should bring a lawsuit for that. K Dot's in the house. What's up, K Dot? Nice to have you here. We're talking about are the police an actual gang? I'm on with Big Mike. Big Mike's been a big help in deciphering what we already knew.
Oh, can I get this out?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Kate. Can I get this out before I forget?
go right ahead. Go right
This
ahead.
was, this was just this morning. Now I called my daughter because she just had back surgery and everything, right? So my grandson, he's 16. He goes to school. So I called her to see how she's doing, if she needs anything.
Hmm.
So the first thing she said, Dad, you know what bothers me? I said, what? She said, the neighborhood I stay in, and all the gang members and there's constantly something going on over there. So she started crying. She said, Dad, it's bad when I have to worry about if my son gonna make it to school and if he gonna make it home. And I said, babe, really don't worry about that. She said, well, I have to. She said, because the main gang members is the police.
Yeah.
Like if they think about it, you got to worry about the gang members and the police. That's terrible. That's a stress. That's stress within itself. Not only that we're stressing to keep a job, make good money, keep our bills paid, make sure that if you got kids, make sure they fed, and it's just too much responsibilities to be worried about the police. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, it should be the last thing you worry about, right?
Right.
But it's
'Cause
not that way.
when I was coming up as a kid, I'm an old guy. When I was coming up as a kid, the police walked through the neighborhoods and got along with the people. And if somebody did something bad, we wouldn't trip because we know that's who it was.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
tell them where they was because we wasn't trying to mess our neighborhood up.
I've said this for a long time on my channel, Mike, and K Dot and I have had deep discussions about how to change, right? How to get things
The all change.
to change. And one of the things that could make a big difference is have foot patrols. Like have
No, they don't do that no
they
more.
don't do it anymore, and it's a shame because that's how you got to know certain cops, right? And the cop would have a vested interest in that neighborhood. They would actually protect. They would, or at least to the best of their abilities. They weren't always all good, but they at least would have a presence there on foot,
Right.
and not just in their vehicles, and it would
But the,
it would do two things. It would keep them fit, physically fit, and it would also save people money because they weren't in cars all the time, and it also would make the community engage with these people a lot more. And now it is really an us versus them kind of mentality on their part. That we're the enemy. So everybody in their mind, everybody has a gun in their pocket and is going to shoot them. That's how they view
well, shit.
things. Yeah.
But see that's because that's what they'll do.
Yeah,
See,
exactly right.
you only think about that's just like a cheater. If you didn't cheat it and you come home and you don't want nobody to think you're cheating, what you gonna do is start an argument. You're gonna get something started. So you won't look like the guilty party.
It's a distraction. That's exactly right. That's
That's all it is.
yeah.
That's all it is, man.
Yeah, it's a distraction, and that's cops do that all the time. You'll see them pull things out of their ass that K Dot and I. Well, that's the first we ever heard of that one. It's like that's it's a distraction. You're right, man. That's exactly right. Let's see. They got that shiny piece of metal on their chest, so that makes the word gold. Bluto says. Cops' favorite victims are people of color, Hispanics, and minorities. Why them? Sadly, it's because no one will listen to them. There is something to that too, McDonald. But I see a slight change in that because people are understanding that people are people, right? I mean, we got to get over the fact that our skin colors are a little bit different, and understand that we all bleed the same. We all are breathing the same air. We have commonalities. We're all human beings, and it's taken this long, unfortunately, to understand that people of color are actual human beings and not just the boogeymen that they are portrayed to be. But getting back, and we're gonna wrap up here in just a second, Mike. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got stuff to
Um,
do.
what I want to get out to me
Hmm.
from living back then until now, it then got worse,
Yeah, yeah,
or as black people say, worse, sir. Because
yeah,
no, because my thing is back then they'd kick your ass. Nowadays they will kill you. They
yeah,
will kill you dead.
yeah,
So, and to me, it's until people learn the law, this is not going to stop. It's
yeah.
it's only getting worse to me. That's what I'm saying. Because
This is
they're not going to learn the law. That's their excuse for kicking your ass. Because
yeah.
we didn't know.
This is the importance of good cop watchers, Mike. Like I'm, I don't consider myself any one thing. This is literally and figuratively. I own many hats, right? I put on many, many hats. But I will say that cop watching is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing that I do. Because if somebody isn't watching them and holding them accountable, I mean, I can tell you a story, Mike. When I went to Vegas a few years back, right, and this is I believe it's on video. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I was with Bernie, and we were in Vegas, and I was going down Sahara off of the strip, right? And I saw there were two people in a row, and these were separate kind of things. Like I got back in the car, and but they both were being pulled over, and I pulled over on one, and they let that person go with no ticket just because I was there. And then the second one, the guy was so happy, he was like, "Dude, I don't know what kind of magic you have, but you prevented me from going to jail. I have a warrant and everything, and they just let me go." And I'm like, "Well, I'm I'm happy for that. I'm happy that I could prevent
But you know
somebody.
the law.
Yeah, I'm happy that I could prevent somebody from potentially being killed in jail, because that shit's happened before too. Once they're in the back of the car and they get to jail, all of a sudden they have a heart attack, or they come out of that jail dead for some reason. Geez, I wonder why.
You you know my other thing about police killing people.
What's that?
Everybody get life insurance. Them life insurance companies will stop it. You kill enough people, they'll stop it. You won't hear no more killings. None. Because
If
they ain't trying to make nobody rich.
Yeah, yeah. Jesse says the police actually lives in the neighborhood they patrolled back then, and that's another thing. None of these people, since they make so much money, Big Mike, they're able to afford to go to really like posh neighborhoods, right? Like neighborhoods that the average citizen couldn't afford because they're working two full-time jobs at fast food. You know what I mean? Just to make ends meet. But these people have the luxury of moving into to bigger and better neighborhoods, and that's why they don't live in the neighborhood anymore. Jesse, they make too much money, in my opinion. K Dot says literally hats. Yes, I do. I have tons of hats. I wish cops were forced to live in the same zip code. I do too, Matthew. I really do. The police are original slave catchers. We can't get away from that. There is truth to that. If you look up the history of the police force, They were actual slave catchers. That's how they started in the KKK, and that's literally how the cops started. So that's something to
Well,
mull over.
well, the same people that owns the rap industries and the movie industries and the basketball and football industries, them are the same people that owns the jails. So if
Yes,
they own the
yes.
jail, if they own the jails, who are they trying to keep locked up so they can keep that money going?
Oh, I've talked about private prisons ad nauseum, Mike. I think private prisons are the privatization of the prison system was one of the worst things to happen here. Andrew Langlois says, I'm a former student from Speech and Language Development Center, just like Dana Snyder. Okay, Andrew, right on. Patrols, that's correct, yes.
That
Uh,
is good.
yeah, cops behave the same way as what is called territorial spirits,
So
McDonald
what,
says.
what, what have changed? What's
Yeah,
been changed?
not much. Like I said,
Get it back to people and get that free labor out of them practically because they ain't paying them nothing in prison.
Oh, that's true too. That's another problem that I have with privatized prisons. They use the people in there for cheap labor all the time, super cheap
Everywhere.
labor. Yep, everywhere. You'll see these patrols on the side of the street gathering trash and stuff, and I think the last time I saw, I think they were paid like $1 something an hour to do that, and I'm like, that's slave labor. I mean, you just call it for what it is. It's slave labor. I mean, you
No,
should.
that's just another sneaky way of having slaves still.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's what I said. Slave labor. I mean, that's what it is. Shout out to all the cop watchers and auditors. You get my utmost respect. Jesse says. Well, most of them, Jesse. Some of them are not worthy of your praise. Let's just put it that way. Um, I wish. Let's see if there's anything else. I think we're pretty good. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Mike, before we end this? I kept you for 45 minutes now, so that's about what I wanted to keep you. Unless you have anything else.
Yeah. When you get some time, come over here and show me how to work this thing.
You did great earlier, and then all of a sudden you just couldn't do it anymore, Big Mike. But I'll tell you what, Mike, I'll stay on this live. You just click on that link, and we'll try to get it working for you. Okay? We'll see what's
All
going
right.
on, and that way next time we can actually have you on the panel instead of me with my numb fingers holding the phone next to the mic.
Well, I man, I apologize.
No, no, no. It's
I
not your fault,
apologize.
man. It's just technical glitches. But Jen says Andrew is great. So everybody, go to Andrew's channel and sub there. Krispy Kreme owners have Nazi ties and use slave labor. Please boycott Krispy Kreme. I think there's only one here, Matthew, and it's way too far from where I'm at. And plus, I'm too fat anyways. I got to start eating more salads, Matthew. So I can start get better looking like you, Matthew.
Yeah, and me, he would have had a problem with that if he'd have told me that last year. But I had to lose weight too, so I
Yeah,
Krispy Kremes. Whew,
yeah.
that's a lot to give up, but I did it. But thanks for the information.
Yeah, no problem. Andrew, I don't have anything to do with Regan Benson anymore. I think her charity is a sham. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I have 3 kittens in my living room right now, Jen. What? Are you fostering, Jen? Wow. You could find a reputable nonprofit, Andrew. Find a really good rep. Do your homework. That's all I got to say. They live in Grant Ranch and Highlands Ranch and Green Valley Ranch, Jesse says. I have no idea who you're talking about. Oh, Michael Marshall
Yeah.
and Marvin Booker, R.I.P. Yeah. The ones that need to give up all these damn donuts are the cops. I think I could use help in that arena too, King
Oh,
Bluto.
you asking too much now because you know the emergency kit is donuts and milk.
Milk and donuts. God
Yeah, the
damn it.
emergency kit.
And I like donuts too, man. They just give me heartburn. I don't eat them, man. But I'm still fat. But that's okay. I'll work on that.
That's
Um,
because that's because when you hit a certain age, we can't eat a lot of things we used to eat.
I'm telling you, Mike. I'm. And plus it doesn't help that my back's all fucked up, so I can't really work out all that much. I mean, I can walk, but that's about it. It's like that's it. You know how it is, Mike. You get older. I mean, your hips start
Yeah, well,
failing you, and
I can tell everybody in there that's younger than 50.
yeah.
When you go past 50, getting up down is the hardest fight you'll ever have in your life.
Oh man. On that note, I think that's gonna do it, Mike. I think that's a good
All
note,
right,
man.
y'all.
All right, Mike.
Thanks for listening to me.
Hey, Mike, is there anything that you want to plug? Anything that you know upcoming? Hey, have you seen any good movies lately that you want to
Oh yeah,
recommend?
dude. You just got to come over and I'll tell you about
Okay, okay, they're secret.
them. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll go over right after this, Mike. Are you doing anything? I can head
Nope.
over there right after.
Nope.
Okay,
I'm right here.
all right.
All right.
I'll head
I'll
over.
see you later.
Hey, Mike,
All
thank
right.
you so much. That's Big Mike, everybody. He's here to give us insight on whether or not the cops are a gang. He says definitively
There
yes.
ain't no question.
No
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, thank you for being
Thank
on,
y'all
man.
for
I really,
listening.
really appreciate you. Thanks for doing this, man. Really,
And,
really appreciate it.
and y'all try to have a good day.
Exactly. That's all we
All
can
right.
do, man. All right. Later,
All
Mike.
right. Later. Bye.
All right, that was Mike, everybody. Big Mike in the house. It's really interesting to get a former gang member's perspective on, uh, and this is way in Mike's past, so I don't want to give Mike a bad rap. He's fam to me. He's just like K Dot. Like I would do anything for Mike, just like I would do anything for K Dot. But I think that puts a good wrapper on this. I know that there were things that we didn't discuss that maybe people want to discuss, and maybe we'll have Mike back for a part two of this and discuss even further. But let me just quickly tell you about uh, any the you know the schedule upcoming. Today, I don't normally do anything, but I thought it was important to get Mike on to talk about this. Tomorrow, I do my show RP Grinders. So at actually it's 7 Eastern time. Join twitch.tv/RP Grinders if you guys like video games or pop culture or politics or anything like that. The first half is video games. Second half, we have a lot of fun. So join in. Even if you join in late, that'd be great. And subscribe over on Twitch. That would be awesome. I've been doing that show for almost 17 years now, guys, if you can believe that. What else? The weekends are usually reserved for requests if you guys have any requests. And if you want me to do cop watching on the weekend or something. If not, I just take the weekends off. Mondays and Wednesdays, I usually do cop watching, although I haven't been lately because I've been kind of sick and not feeling the greatest. But I feel better now. I'm starting to get on the mend. Tuesdays is Hot Tub on Bernie's channel. Make sure you join us for that. We missed last week because Bernie had to stay late, but this week we'll be doing Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's a fun hot tub show, 18 plus. We do dirty lyrics. It's a ton of fun. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the panel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out and also share. Sharing is caring. The only way that this channel is going to grow legit is by you guys word of mouth. I don't do the other tricks that other people do. So, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a great day. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Later, everybody.